Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Rapid Fired Pizza National Series. Another great race ahead of you for tonight at the improved Atlanta Motor Speedway. Looking forward to seeing how this is going to go for the drivers. It's the first time out on season testing the new facility, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. As always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As we get ready to grid them up, we've got 120 laps, a stage break on lap 40, and non-stop action. Let's go ahead and run through the grid for tonight. Jeffrey Meyer starts on pole. Diego Villalobos starting second. Richard Malogani starts third. Mike Howerton starting fourth. Scott Stevens starting fifth. Douglas Bell starting sixth. Robert Cook starts seventh. Brent Wall starting eighth. Timothy Davis starts ninth. James Duke starting 10th. Kenny Meadows starts 11th. Chad Gwinnigsman starting 12th. Cycling it back to David Centini starting 13th. Colby Baber starting 14th. Evan Longacre starts 15th. John Midget starts 16th. Barry Stevens starting 17th. Chuck Waldrop starting 18th. Matt Knight starting 19th. Julio Villalobos Jr. starts 20th. John Binder starting 21st. Kyle Mulring starts 22nd. Greg Newsom starting 23rd. Billy Fitzgerald starting 24th. And that will round out the grid here tonight. Waiting for everybody to make their way out on track so we can get things going. Looks like we're waiting on Villalobos, Malugani, Bell, Meadows still have yet to take the grid, as both Villalobos family members waiting to take the grid. Looks like James Duke, Julio Villalobos Jr. not able to make their way out onto the grid. Meyer and Diego Villalobos will be your front row. Malogani, Howerton your second row. Stevens and Bell your third row. iRacing safety car makes its way down pit road. We get ready to go live here at the new Atlanta Motor Speedway. From everything I've heard, this new track really lends itself well to these Xfinity cars racing. Drivers were a little apprehensive coming into tonight, though. Expected it to be a bit of a rough one, as Richard Malagani quickly takes over the second place spot. Looks like Stevens and Howerton briefly going side by side. Stevens takes over the fourth place spot. Howerton falling back into fifth. And again, the plan is to run this thing out till lap 20 before our stage break. And I think everybody's a little bit apprehensive of what's going to happen tonight. Drivers, league admins, and broadcasters alike. Up front, Meyer holds onto the lead. Malagani tucked in behind him. Looks like that's Diego Villalobos quickly hopping out of the groove in the 43 machine. Now these guys are all running open setups here tonight. There's some drivers that maybe run a little bit more tape. You might see them hop out of line, try and get some cool air on the front of that machine. That looks like what the 43 machine of Diego Villalobos is doing here. And then hops back in the groove to prevent Scott Stevens from making his way around. I think Villalobos running heavy on the tape here. Excuse me, I misspoke earlier. It is a stage break on lap 40. It's been other races in the past where lap 20 or so we've seen cautions. So I was misread that with my notes here, so my apologies. So we're going to run to lap 40, barring any cautions. And right now things are looking pretty good. Malagani tucked in behind Jeffrey Meyer, your race leader. Villalobos still sitting in third, but hopping in and out of that groove. Again, what I can only imagine to put some more air on the front of that machine. So far, things are going well. Now, hard chargers so far. Kyle Mulring in the 84 machine. You see him tucked in behind Evan Longacre in the 95 machine. He has moved that 84 up 8 positions so far tonight. Qualifying 22nd. Working his way back up in the field. Now, Julio Villalobos Jr., who started from pit road, did make his way out on track. He's going to be about 3 laps down from the rest of the field. But is able to make his way back out there. Now up front, we got some side-by-side action. As it looked like Diego Villalobos has been hopping out of line, commits to here. That allows Malagani to take the second place spot. Here comes Scott Stevens in the 55 machine, moving up into third. Villalobos still on that outside line, now side by side with Robert Cook, 64 machine. Here comes Douglas Bell up the inside line in the 11. As Villalobos in the 43 starts to slowly fall back here after running up towards the front. He's down 5 spots early on. As everybody else inside the top 5, top 6 looks to be content with a single file. As I say that, Douglas Bell in the number 11 moves to the high line. That allows Villalobos a chance to get back up into 6th. Right behind him, that's Brent Baldwin. Santini to 79. He's up 4 spots early on. Gotta love these Xfinity cars in the new Atlanta. Drivers hitting speeds of about 95 miles an hour. Some of the fastest trap speeds we've seen so far this evening. Centini and Wall side by side. Wall the inside line, the number 6 Ford Mustang, 79 Chevrolet. Looks like Timothy Davis in the 92 machine trying to work his way slowly up towards the front as well. Oh, almost a little bit of contact there between Wall and Davis. Wall the inside line, Davis ripping the high line. And look at that, Douglas Bell has hopped out of the room again, number 11 machine. I'm surprised to see the 43 of Villalobos, Diego Villalobos, tucked right back in behind Robert Cook. Oh, what's going on up front? As Malagani, 86, now up on the high line, way up on the high line. Letting the field go by after he worked his way up towards the front, battling for second and third. And Jeffrey Meyer's got to be happy, qualified in that pole position, continues to run up towards the top. We saw, Timothy Davis, I think had a bit of a bobble. I heard it out of my right side headset that A little bit of contact was made with the wall, and it looks like Davis rapidly slowing the pace here. No caution. We'll keep running this thing clean and green. Now earlier on, you were hearing us talk about tape, talk about overheating. This is where Jeffrey Meyer is in such a good position on number 50 machine, especially if he set up that car kind of planning to be out front. Not going to be worried nearly as much about overheating issues as opposed to those that are tucked in right behind him, nose to tail. If you put too much tape on the front of that car, doesn't allow any sort of airflow through your radiator, your cooling system, and it's very quick to overheat if you do not have any air coming on the nose. That's going to be the 76 of James Duke. He's going a lap down, 13 positions back from where he started. The field able to make relatively quick work, no problems there. Our charger, currently Greg Newsom. That 23 machine up 11 spots as we briefly go with 3 wide. Newsom way up high on the inside line. Excuse me, Newsom on the inside line. That's Malagani on the high line, the 86. Malagani's down 9 spots early on this evening. And it looks like the racetrack's getting a little bit busier ahead of Newsom inside the top 10. That's Meadows and Longacre. Linking up with a little bit of traffic ahead, and I think that was that was Davis, the 92 machine, with a massive blink. Douglas Bell also having internet problems. Right now, about 1 second separates your race leader, Jeffrey Meyer, from Kenny Meadows, who's in 10th. The field very bunched up here, especially from about 5th place back behind Villalobos. That's Douglas Bell. David Centini, who's starting to get 2 opposing lines built up. Bell, the number 11 machine. Centini leading the charge on the high line. Somebody else tagged the wall. That was Malagani, the 86 machine. A bit of a bobble there, and he's going to fall further down the standings now. 11 positions back after he qualified third. Now, doesn't matter what car you're in, Atlanta known for being very, very tough on tires, and I wonder if that's what we're seeing already from these guys, is they're starting to tighten up a little bit, and that's where problems will strike. We check back in on race leader Jeffrey Meyer, making it look easy in that number 50 machine. Stevens behind. Stevens goes to the high line. That's maybe allow Howerton to take over the 2nd place spot. Yes, it will, as the number 51 machine works his way up the inside line. And right behind him, things are getting dicey. Cook, Bell, side by side, just ahead. Looks like Stevens and Howerton briefly going side by side. You've also got Diego Villalobos and David Centini in the fray. "21 laps in, drivers getting a little bit more antsy, joshing around for position. Meyer and Howerton linked up nose to tail for the race lead. They're side by side for 3rd with Cook and Stevens. Diego Villalobos tucked in. He's kind of by himself here. Doesn't have any outside pressure. But as I say that, looks like Villalobos tries to work the inside line against Stevens' 55 machine. Oh, and there's problems. That's the 23 machine of Greg Newsom. Looks like the 29 of John Midget tied up in that one. That's going to bring out the first caution of the night. And let's see what happened. Taking a bird's eye look here, we're focused on Greg Newsom, the black and orange 23 machine. The other driver involved is going to be John Midget, the 29. Trying to see where things go wrong here. You see Newsom up on the high line, coming out in the start-finish line. Midget working the inside line. Oh, and it looks like Newsom just swipes down. Midget had nowhere to go. And I think that number 29 machine about to take a hard hit as they both go careening down the infield. Now the 23 of Newsom. Oh, look at the effort. Midget tried to save it and just absolutely plows that pit wall. So I think that 29 machine may be done and out for the evening. Greg Newsom, much more fortunate. Gliding sideways down the track. Narrowly avoiding getting hit by our iRacing safety car. But able to keep it going with just the slightest amount of damage. That will be our first caution of the night on lap 23. Just about over the halfway mark for the stage caution. Now I'm curious to see who's going to come down pit road for the track position, who's going to opt to stay out and try and bring home some stage points here. Let's see, it looks like everybody's going to opt to stay out. I'm surprised that Newsom also stayed out the 23 machine. I thought he was going to have a little bit of damage. As I say that, a whole lot of drivers starting to come down pit road. Kyle Mulring, Richard Malagani, Matt Knight, Chuck Waldrop, Timothy Davis, Greg Newsom, all down pit road. This should allow Julio Villalobos Jr., the 45 machine, to get a lap back as the top 14 have opted to stay out here. As we roll around under eye-pacing conditions, I'd like to once again thank our title sponsor, Rapid Fired Pizza, coming on board for the National Series. And especially a shout out to our friends at Old School Ninjas, all coming on board, supporting the league, supporting the drivers, as well as supporting the broadcast. Support those that support us. Check them out, Rapid Fired Pizza, as well as our friends over at Old School Ninjas. Still under pacing conditions. Look like we're going to stay single file for a little while longer. Get them formed up, I would believe, the next lap. Plus, I think maybe, just maybe, we caught Howerton asleep at the wheel there in the 51 machine as he pulls up next to Jeffrey Meyer. Pace car comes in. And green flag once more. Meyer's going to hold on to the race lead. Howerton tucks in behind. Now, Howerton didn't seem to have any pressure over that last run or any problem staying square against the 50. He wasn't having to hop out of line too much for fresh air. It'll be interesting to see if he can do that again and give up there to the number 50 machine and give a good hearty push where it's needed. That's exactly what Howerton's doing here, linking up right behind that 50 of Meyer. As behind, things are getting a little bit frantic. Like Villalobos really trying to get around Bell's number 11 machine. Bell drops back down the inside line. There's Scott Stevens up on the high line. Ooh, Villalobos showing a whole lot of aggressiveness there. That 43 trying to get his nose in alongside that 11. Was that tag the wall? I think that could have been Stevens in the 55 machine. Giving a bit of a door check to the freshly painted walls here at Atlanta. Thankfully able to hold on to it. It also looked like Centini had to make an evasive move in the 79 machine. He dropped quickly down the inside line. Stevens still trying to work the outside line. Not having too much luck. Centini tucks in behind Villalobos, the 43. Right now, the top five, Meyer, Howard. Oh, what is this? The big one is out at Atlanta, and it is a colossal one. The field gets absolutely wadded up here. That was a good 6-7 drivers tied up in that one. It looks like it's going to easily be Fitzgerald, Centini, and Wall all involved. And let's take a look and see what just happened. So it looks like it all starts here with Villalobos in the 43 machine. We've seen him for the last several laps. Take a look at the inside line of Douglas Bell's number 11. Never quite finding the room to make it happen. Bell focused on tucking in behind Robert Cook. Still there. Villalobos sees maybe a gap that just frankly was never going to happen. Gets into the corner panel of Bell. That was in the process of happening for the last 4 or 5 laps. And look at this. Poor Stevens, poor Centeni, the number 95 of Longacre involved in that one. The 25 of Matt Knight, who just can't catch a break. And they just go absolutely piling in here. As it's probably quicker to list the drivers who aren't involved. The number 6, Brent Wall, gets tagged again as Centeni careens across. Catches the number 22 of Billy Fitzgerald. He's got a hard hit. Looks like Meadows doesn't get through unscathed as he keeps stacking it in. And oh, and crashing under cautions, Douglas Bell. Absolutely not happy with the performance of Villalobos. He's trying his best to wreck him under caution here. Race control is going to have some words with these guys. And that will be our second caution of the evening. And it is a very busy night. Still haven't made to that stage caution. And there are some very heated drivers out on track. Let's see who joins the long list of drivers coming down pit road. Looks like Douglas Bell just pulls over and takes a tow back to the virtual hauler. Let's see who's diving down pit road. Matt Knight in pit road. Looks like Billy Fitzgerald, Douglas Bell, David Centini. John Midget was already in pit road from his earlier incident. What a night here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Bilbo showed involved in an incident, not quite sure from where he had issues. As it looks like it's about your top 6 drivers have opted to stay out for the track position, trying to pick up the stage points. Race car is in. And away we go after the second caution against stage break on lap 40 here at Atlanta. Meyer with another spectacular launch, but keep an eye out. Here comes Robert Cook, number 64 machine up the inside line. Content tucking in behind Meyer, but maybe now with a possible stage win ahead of that 51 machine, he's going to try and work his way a little bit further up towards the front. He's got the 86 of Malagani giving him a little bit of ground. Malagani not quite staying tucked in here. So Howerton won't necessarily get the draft he's looking for, especially as Meyer and Cook linked up nose to tail. That may allow Long to climb a little bit higher up in the stands. There's about 4 laps left to go until our stage break. Once again, the elbows are out. Meyer and Cook still linked up, nose to tail. Evan Longacre pulls the 95 machine up toward the inside line. Meanwhile, it is Howerton, Malagani, and I think Mollering, the number 84. Yes, he's on the outside line as well, trying to get this show going. And a second line formed up. Also looks like the 76 is going to go to the outside line. The first time tonight. We're going to see a little bit of pack racing. 2 wide, 4 rows deep. Meyer still holding on to the race lead. Howerton works his way up into second, but for how long? Tries to fire back the inside line. Second on track, second in line to the inside. Looks like Mulring had backed out of it slightly, crossing the start-finish line, closes the gap. 1 and 2. Going to be a good one to decide the stage victory. Howard closed the gap to less than a tenth of a second up towards the front, pulling a massive amount of speed really through the corners. And then Meyer able to pull just a little bit less than a tenth down the straights, making that track just a little bit smaller for that number 50 machine. Able to pull a little bit better gap. Howerton, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to try and bring the second place despite tooth and nails. Robert Cook will heavily defend the inside line. The 64 machine, the black and yellow Toyota. I can't quite tell if the inside lunge is naturally faster, but that outside line doesn't have the support. We got about 5 drivers tucked in against the apron. Oh, and we're gonna go 3 wide with traffic. That's the number 22, Billy Fitzgerald. That Xfinity machine. Looks like everybody able to get through nice and easy. A little bit of a moment there between Longacre and Mulligany. And it looks like that's gonna set the order here for the stage break. As yes, the caution lights are on. Drivers get sorted out into their positions here. I believe the unofficial finish order of the stage is going to be Meyer, Cook, Howerton, Longacre, Mulligany, your top 5. Mulring, Duke, Davis, Meadows, and Waldrop going to round out the top 10 here. Just about everybody coming down pit road. I think Villalobos Jr., the 45 machine's going to stay out to get a lap back. At one point, he was almost 5 laps down that 45 machine, so these 2 actual cautions, the stage break caution, going well for the 45 machine. Villalobos Jr. coming in after regaining a lap. I think he's well done. No, I stand corrected. It was Diego Villalobos still at the tail end of this lead lap. Julio Villalobos Jr. is going to be down now two laps. He's still making progress here. Away we go once more with Meyer out front. Looks like Howerton gets a little bit better start, firing up on the inside line. I think this is exactly where Howerton wanted to be at. Get right behind Meyer. That's me, my apologies. And keep moving forward. Early on tonight, he was right there with the 50, serving as an excellent pusher. And it looks like Malagani having a bit of aggressiveness as well in the 86. Malagani qualified third and wants to keep it. Big strides here as well. He's up 18 spots so far tonight. Not showing any sign of slowing down, but Robert Cook's going to fire back the 64 machine along the outside line, kind of doing it by himself. He's got Kenny Meadows about 2 or 3 back. But Cook has a little bit of short run speed. Working the side draft against Mollering. Looks like Malagani works the outside line as well. Meyer just continued to sit out front. Howerton tucked in right behind him. Colin Mulring has worked that number 84 machine all the way up to third. Now 19 positions gained for the driver of that Fox-backed 84 Chevrolet. That is an amazing amount of positions gained so far tonight. Meyer and Howerton running first and second, still linked up nose to tail. Howerton that up where he is comfortable sitting behind somebody. We haven't seen that 51 machine have to really rapidly hop out of the draft as we've seen others do. And don't forget about Robert Cook in fourth. He gets on a quarter of a second for Timothy Davis in fifth. Now I'm hoping we can get some long green flag runs here tonight to maybe show what these drivers can do. We had 2 cautions before the stage break on lap 40. So really haven't had a chance for any sort of run or green flag pit stop so far tonight. A little bit further back, Mad Knight and Chad Winningsman going side by side for the 14th place spot. Billy Fitzgerald comes down the pit road, the number 22 machine. Not quite sure what was going on with him. And things are getting busy up front. There's Timothy Davis in the 92 machine. He's chased by Chuck Waldrop. Looks like that's Binder, and I think Meadows duking it out for the 7th place spot. Right behind them, Evan Longacre, Greg Newsom. Scott Stevens, number 55 machine. He dives down pit road. Meadows, the 96 machine, working the outside line. Looks like that's the 23 of Greg Newsom. Giving him a hand here. Newsom was a hard charger. Right now it's still Kyle Mulring, who's up 19 positions, but that doesn't detract away from what Newsom's been able to do so far tonight. He's up 15 spots. And it looks like things are going to... Oh, look at that. Meadows almost gets it. I think that's Davis, the 92 machine. Yes, it is. And Waldrop and Newsom go side by side behind for the 7th place spot. Also looks like Malagani and Binder up in the mix. Newsom on the high line. Waldrop down low in the 07. Behind them, Malagani and Binder still side by side. Waldrop and Villalobos appear to be in the mix. Kenny Meadows at the tail end of this lead pack. He's running 6th in the 96 machine. But man, oh man, no surprise with how much side-by-side action we're getting here. But now it's going to be Malagani, and I believe that's Binder the inside line. Longacre takes a peek at some three-wide action, backs out of it, and has other plans. But for the most part, the field in front of them running single file. There's the number 45 of Villalobos Jr. trying to get some more laps back the old hard way by pushing forward. Longacre looked like he was giving a shove to the 07 of Waldrop, but now shuffles back to 11th and 95 machine. Up front is still the Jeffrey Meyer show, clicking off laps here in that number 50. Oh no! Longacre gets into Waldrop. Waldrop somehow keeps it pointing the right direction. What a save from Waldrop. I can't believe that wasn't worse. Longacre just got into the back of him ever so slightly. It has been a wild night so far as we check in on race leader Jeffrey Meyer. Howerton right behind him, Kyle Mulring, Robert Cook, Greg Newsom rounding out the top 5 here, 1/3 of the way through tonight's main event. Chuck Waldrop able to get down pit road under his own power, so that is good to see. tucked in behind the 50 of Meyer. Right on the back bumper. As we go on board with Howerton's 51 machine. Right as we do that though, looks like Meyer goes wide. Howerton, yes, he's going to take the race lead and get the credit for the lap 62 as the leader. Kyle Mullring follows in hot pursuit the inside line just like that. Mullring now up 20 positions. Meyer still on the high line. Here comes Robert Cook in the 64. He wants to get up front. A little bit of contact there. I think that was Meadows in the 96 machine. He was tucked in by, I believe, Meyer in the 50, but just went a little bit wide, pushed that outside wall. These guys have been out on track for about 22 laps now, so they will start feeling a little bit of tire decay as they start to fall off. Now, lap times still about where they've been all night. They're running about 31.9s with this tight pack up front. Not a lot of support as far as different lines go. It's been kind of every man for himself here. As here comes Jeffrey Meyer, the 50 machine. Still trying to work that outside line. He briefly takes over the second place spot for Mullring. But Mullring's going to fire back. He's behind Howerton, but not as close as Howerton was behind Meyer early on the run. And that may allow Meyer a chance to get back up there and fight for second, if not for the lead. But it looks like for now, at least, we're going to get that green flag run we were talking about. Interested to see how far these guys are able to go on, as we have not had the opportunity to see that run yet. Meyer still trying to work that outside line. He's got Kenny Meadows in the white and gold 96 to help him out. But Howerton, Mullring, and Cook on the inside line have been working together very strong. But my only concern is we haven't seen Mullring give that hearty shove to Howerton that Howerton was able to give Meyer. And as I say that, Meyer takes over the race lead down the back stretch. It was 0.03 of a second advantage, which Howerton was inside line, just making that track a little bit smaller. As the light is starting to dim here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Looks like Meadows push to Meyer's 50 machine. He wants to get that 50 up front so he can follow suit in the 96. Meyer working the side draft against Howerton. We still have 17 drivers on the lead lap. 19 of the 24 entries still out there rocking and rolling. Now Douglas Bell, John Midget, they put it back in the virtual hauler. Chuck Waldrop, Billy Fitzgerald, David Centini have been taking extended stays in pit road, and Scott Stevens, the 55 machine, has also been forced into an early retirement, at least for tonight. Iverson holding on the race lead. They got a little bit of lap traffic. That's Brent Wall, the number 6 machine, trying to hop out of the way. Luckily, it looks like this new Atlanta just wide enough to make that happen. Always a white knuckle moment when you're going 3 wide with drivers that may be a little bit slower than you. And Jeffrey Meyer has been fighting tooth and nail on that number 50 machine to stay up there with the front. He's had little to no draft support for a majority of the run, but really working that side draft. Now, Meyer's defense, he appeared to be set up to continue leading this race, so he's been very, very quick with clean air on the front of that number 50 machine. And that could be why we're not seeing Meyer tip down in line quite as often. As Cook holds onto the 3rd place spot, here comes Kenny Meadows. No, that's lap traffic ahead of him. That's the number 45 of Willow. Still about 2 laps down as it stands. Alberton looking strong in the 51 machine. Kyle Mullring, Robert Cook, right in tow. Jeffrey Meyer, Kenny Meadows still running out the top 5. Mullring, your hard charger so far of the evening. He's up 20 positions. And a big shout out to Greg Newsom as well, that 23 machine. He's up 17 spots. So not having a bad night at all. The field looks like, for the most part, fairly content going single file. Gonna be interesting to see. They've been out on track. We're coming up just shy of 40 laps. And it looks like Mullring's starting to get a little bit more antsy here behind the power. They put about a 2/10 gap over Robert Cook in 3rd. How long will the fuel run be for these drivers? Robert Cook also looks like he wants to get around Kyle Mullring right behind Jeffrey Meyer. Linked up 25, several laps down. You've got Kenny Meadows up on the high line. No, that's Diego. Oh, it's Diego Villalobos pushing Julio Villalobos Jr.'s 45 machine. Now, how is this going to shape out? Are we going to see the top 5 move around before the pit cycle continues? Or begins, I should say. Now, I would imagine these guys would be able to go about 50 laps on a tank of gas if the stage brake was set for lap 40. We've seen wilder things here at the Rapid Fire Pizza Nationals. Now it looks to be about 8 drivers running single file here. John Binder kind of at the tail end of that number 33 machine. The bright red 33 Chevrolet. He's got about a 4/10 advantage. You can see Timothy Davis just behind. And then Davis has about let's call it about a half second on Greg Newsom, who has a bit of a crumpled up front end. So the field getting a little bit spread out past the top 8. Making top 9 is Timothy Davis wins the freight train. 1.2 seconds separating Davis and 9 to your race leader, Howerton. Davis took a peek on the inside line. Almost thought he was getting set up for a pit stop. Ulring and Howerton still linked up nose to tail. Robert Cook right there in the 64. I'm almost wondering if maybe the guys have kind of settled into a groove here. Everybody happy for the most part where they're at. And just trying to get through a fuel run without any more incidents. You can see the 45 machine. Villalobos Jr. hop out of the groove every now and then for clean air, but he's got found over Diego Villalobos right behind him, who Diego's still in the lead lap as Julio is down a couple laps still at this point, but I think the 45 machine maybe had the win to get back to the lead lap, opted against it. Howerton just enjoying the clean air on that 51 machine. I think Ulring in second, just happy to be up 20 positions so far in the 84. Other notable hard chargers, John Binder, the 33 machine, sits in 8th. He's up 13 spots. Greg Newsom sitting in 10th, also up 13 positions. As Meyer falls back in the number 50 machine, we saw him hop out of the groove, and fall back he does. I wonder if the number 50 machine maybe had an overheating problem, as he falls all the way back to 8th. battling inside the top 5, leading a large portion of the race. We're 93 laps in. When are we going to see these guys start to set up for pit road? It's been about 52 laps since this run where we saw everybody come down for the stage break on lap 40, hitting their pit stalls on lap 42. How is this going to bode for guys such as Jeffrey Meyer? Now, he's worked his way back up in the after being a hard charger. Are we going to see some guys maybe go for the undercut? Because we're 26 laps left to go. I don't think we can stretch this all the way out to the end. That would be such a long time. And the pace really hasn't fallen off. Most of these guys' fastest laps of the evening were in the low 30.9s. Even some getting down to a 30.8. They're clicking off about 31.9s now, so it's second off the fastest laps, which could definitely be attributed to the tire wear and the track really getting rubbered up. And things are getting a little bit more excited. Here comes Jeffrey Meyer, the outside line against Mollering. Trying to get that lead spot once more away from Howerton's 51. He's got no draft support to make it happen. As Mollering sees what's going on, tucks in squarely behind Howerton. Trying to get the most advantage out of the draft as he can. What are we going to see Robert Cook in the 64 machine? Seems to be trying to watch this battle unfold. We got 23 laps left to go. I would expect still one more green flag stop before the time it's all, or I guess I should say the only green flag stop before it's all said and done. A little bit of lap traffic up ahead as Meyer takes another shot on the outside line out there in no man's land. Can't believe what he's able to get done in that number 50 machine without the track support of frankly anybody at this point. Just out there clicking off laps, hitting his marks. It's got to be frustrating. He's got such great pace, but can't quite get around Howerton. And we're going to go 3 wide once more. That's the 25 of Matt Knight, the friendly Aussie. I don't think Meyer really lost any time there. There were 50 as back up the inside line. As maybe Meyer not willing to do quite so risky moves. As it looks like Meyer going to tuck back in behind Roberts' 64 machine. 19 laps left to go here at Atlanta. 101 laps clicked off so far. Somebody else is working his way up to the field, a 95 machine. He's up 10 positions now inside the top 5. Tucked in behind Meyer, just ahead of the 43 of Diego Villalobos. James Duke finds himself pointing the wrong direction with 18 laps left to go. Let's see what happened to him. We're watching Duke in the 76 machine. Not sure if he went wide there or not, but around he goes. A massively hard hit on the inside wall. Pirouetting around the 76, quickly gets it fired back up. I don't think that's going to bring out the caution. And unfortunately, his race is most likely over here. 17 laps left to go. Howardson holding on to the race lead. These guys have not come down pit road since that lap 40 stage break where most of the field came in on lap 42. James Duke was able to get back into his pits under his own power, so well done to him. The laps rapidly clicking off. Are we going to see a late race green flag stop to throw a wrench into the plans here tonight? As I say that, Jeffrey Meyer, the number 50 machine, comes down pit road. He's going to be all on his lonesome. Is he thinking we're going to go green here? Because if we have a caution while he's in pit road, it could spell disaster after how hard he's worked tonight. Howerton still clicking off laps. Mullring up those 20 positions in second. Has got to be happy with his performance tonight, but does he have the pace in that 84 to make a late race lunge at Howerton with how this car is set up? We know Howerton's fast between there on the front. Can Mullring pull out of the draft with 13 laps left to go and try and make something happen? 12 laps left to go. Howerton, Mulring, Cook have a 6/10 breakaway from Diego Villalobos in the 43 machine. Maybe they're going to work together here, try and put a little bit of a gap on the rest of the field. As I say that, no, Howerton. And it looks like, oh, Howerton getting a little bit loose there, comes down pit road. Robert Cook's going to follow suit as well as Greg Newsom. Kyle Mulring opts to stay out. 11 laps left to go. Howerton, Cook, Newsom all down pit road. Jeffrey Meyer, the number 50 machine, went for a bit of an undercut. As now Gwinigsman and Malugani come down pit road. Mulring all out by his most of a 6/10 gap over Evan Longacre. Longacre, no! Mulring comes careening down pit road, hits the cone. He's going to get a penalty for that. Tags the outside wall. Unfortunately, Mulring, after working so hard, may have just done all that work. Diego Villalobos, Timothy Davis stay out on track. We're 10 laps left to go as a green flag stop is underway. What on earth is happening? Villalobos trying to get a load up in the 43 machine for his finals only green flag stop of the night. Timothy Davis stays out in the 92 machine. We're 9 laps left to go. It's Davis, Baber, Knight out on track, as well as Brent Wall, who have not come down pit road since lap 42. Surely we're getting close to it here. What a wild night with green flag stops so close to the end. Davis still stays out. Baber and Knight come down pit road, as well as Brent Wall, the 92 machine, stretching his legs. We've got the live timing tower put up on the left side of your screen. It's just Davis on the lead lap. As here comes Jeffrey Meyer, the number 50 machine, to unlap himself. Meyer went for the undercut. That could bode well for him as these green flag stops shake themselves out. Davis coming down pit road for the one and only green flag stop. So that's going to put Meyer as your race leader as he works his way all the way around the track here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's got a 3.9 second advantage over John Binder. What a wild night. Davis has just hit his pit stall. How is this going to shape up as Meyer makes his way around through 3 and 4? Showing 10 drivers on the lead lap. Seven laps left to go. Jeffrey Meyer with a 3-second and climbing advantage as Davis rolls out of pit road. John Binder takes back over the second place spot. And what is this? Matt Knight has problems. And oh my goodness, the caution will come out with 6 laps left to go. Let's see what happened to Matt Knight, the number 25 machine that brought out the late race caution. Oh, looks like he may have gotten tipped around there. I think that was the number 5, or was it the 55 of Steve? No, it wasn't Stevens. And unfortunately, that's going to bring out a late race caution that's going to really throw a wrench in things for these drivers. Things are about to get wild as the caution is out with Jeffrey Meyer up front. Now, he came anywhere between 4 to 7 laps earlier than the rest of the field. Will he come down pit road? I would imagine everybody's going to stay out here opting for track position. Everybody, for the most part, stays out. Gwinningsman, Malagani, Faber, Binder, Newsom come down pit road. Your top 5, Meyer, Davis, Villalobos, Cook, Stevens. Staying out, valuing the ever-important driving position, especially Meyer. We know he's fast in clean air. And I think Howerton may be stuck a lap down here in the 51. Not good news for somebody who's been very quick so far this evening. Now, I don't think it's going to quite put us into green-white checker conditions, but boy, is it going to be close. As I think it's going to be Brent Wall gets the lucky dog in the number 6 machine. James Duke comes back down pit road. Brent Wall going involved in a crash somehow. Maybe he locked it up, triggering the broadcast software showing he had some sort of incident trying to dive down pit road. So it's going to be 3 laps left to go on this restart as we get the field gridded up double file. 10 drivers on the lead lap. Will Brent Wall be able to make it back out on track? I don't think he's going to be able to as the field comes through 3 and 4. And it looks like we're going to extend the caution a little bit here. It's going to show 4 to go on the live timing screen. No, I think we're going to be good to go here for a 3 to go restart. Again, it's Meyer, Davis on that front row, Villalobos, Cook, your second row, Stevens, Binder, your third row. Absolute gut-wrenching for somebody like Kyle Mullering, the 84 machine, who was up 20 positions, now finds himself back in 16. And it looks like we're going to lead them around here at Atlanta Motor Speedway one more time. So it'll be, I guess, 2 to go at the line. It looks like pace car will be coming in this time by. We will have one last shot at it to finish the green. Now, if we have another caution, it'll throw it into green-white checker conditions. Pace car is in for what could be the final time at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Rapid Fired Pizza Nationals. Away goes Meyer, and it looks like Villalobos going to try and follow suit here. The 92 machine of Davis didn't get his best of launches as Meyer tries to check out the number 50 machine. Here comes Timothy Davis. Here comes John Binder, Robert Cook, Chad Koenigsman. All of a sudden, everybody's got a shot at it. As Binder and Villalobos go side by side. Binder goes up high in the number 33 machine. He's up 18 spots as it sits. White flag will be out this time by. If Meyer can take the white flag, we will finish this thing under green flag conditions as the field stacks up from second place back. Binder with a big run on the outside line with the support of Chad Gwinnigsman. We've got Heartbreak on the inside line. That's the 92 of Timothy Davis. Looks like the field able to hold on to it. Meyer still out front. We're 3 wide per second behind him with Gwinnigsman, Villalobos, Binder, all in the fray. Who's it going to be here at Atlanta Motor Speedway? Jeffrey Meyer brings home the win. Diego Villalobos dives down low, but it's going to be Chad Gwinnigsman taking over the second place spot as Diego Villalobos rounds out the top 3. So it's Meyer, Gwinnigsman, and Villalobos. And I may have missed, no, it was Gwinnigsman up 10 spots tonight. Well done, but Jeffrey Meyer, a very well-deserved win here after an action-packed event at the new Atlanta Motor Speedway. And that's going to do it for my time up here in the booth. As always, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much for tuning in, supporting the Rapid Fire Pizza National Series, as well as a shout out to our friends at Old School Ninjas. I'm going to hand it over to our podium crew. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the next one.
Everybody, thanks for watching this race with us here at the Rapid Fire Pizza National Series as we kick off our inaugural race and finish it up here in the virtual Atlanta, Georgia, Atlanta Super Speedway, Motor Speedway here in Atlanta, Georgia, the virtual Atlanta, Georgia, that is. And we are going to head right down into pit road and talk to our top 2 finishers tonight and hear their thoughts on the race tonight. I want to start with Chad Gwinnigsman. He finished second place tonight. And Chad, as far as I know, this is your first time on the podium here in the Rapid Fired Pizza League. How does it feel to have that second place finish tonight?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Joined the season late, so trying to get up to speed and join racing with all the guys. And definitely feels good to get a second place finish. Definitely was an interesting race, being not quite Daytona or Talladega, but still being a lot of close quarter racing at what used to be an intermediate track.
Yeah, I was out there. We were leading for a decent amount of laps there towards the end, right before the green flag pit stops, and I was telling my teammate Robert Cook, I was like, I hope there's a caution or something. I'm dreading these green flag pit stops. There hasn't been one all week in any of the races I've raced. So, how did that work out for you? What was your game plan there in the green flag pit stops? What lap did you pit on, and how did that whole situation work out for you?
Yeah, really for me, I think the strategy of this race was to keep the car clean, so it didn't go for stage points in stage 1. I think second stage pretty much ran back in the main pack, probably 15th most to run. The only issue was there was a slight spin that I checked up for, so lost the draft. So really, pretty much from lap 75 to 120 probably was pretty relaxing, actually, being that I was basically racing for nothing, just hoping for a caution. So my pit stop was low pressure. I had 10 seconds behind the leaders and 10 seconds of the cars behind me, so I could just cruise in and hope for yellow, and luckily we got that and gave me a 2-lap run to try to get something more.
Well, then not having any pressure definitely worked out for you in the green flag pit stop. Let me tell you, speeding even a couple mile an hour is no good. That 40-second hold will kill your race. But let me ask you, so this is a new track here, and like you said, it's just like a Daytona or Talladega, just a little shorter, a lot of packed draft racing. And, a lot of the guys were having trouble at the beginning drifting up the track. Did you have any trouble here during the race with your car drifting any or getting loose going around the turns?
I did not. I had the opportunity to run a couple B opens this week, so I know in the first one I ran definitely had a little bit of that in the long run, so I guess I kind of went away from using the Daytona or Talladega set, went more towards maybe a normal intermediate track set where you add more downforce back in, just because on the short run you might give up a little bit, but on the long run if you start getting tight or start sliding, it's pretty hard to keep up with the draft if everybody else is able to flat foot it.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you looked at the setup in the car this week, iRacing was using the Super Speedway chassis here, same chassis they use in Talladega and Daytona. So with that in mind, I mean, you talked about your setup there a little bit, but was there anything else special that you guys had to do this week in preparing and building your set for the track?
I'd say the big thing here is really knowing that it's not all going to be trimming out the car here, just because if you trim it all out, you are going to have those sliding moments on the long run. You are going to have some pushy moments on the long run where the car doesn't want to turn or it's trying to spin you out. So I think it's really adding enough downforce in where you can have some good long run handling, but not adding too much where you can't get runs or anything like that.
Awesome. And one last thought I want to get from you, and that is when we had that caution there at the end, and it was a unofficial green-white checkered. What was kind of your game plan going to that? Where did you start that on that last restart? And what was kind of going through your head, and what was your game plan going through for those last few laps?
Yeah, so I think really before the caution came out at the end of the race, right after pit stops, I think I was running around 10th. So really for me, anything I could gain was pretty much all going to be bonus points. I mean, at that point, I'd pretty much resigned to the fact that I was probably only going to finish 10th. So getting an opportunity to run hard for 2 laps and really have nothing to lose from where I was pretty good. So I think I restarted 8th. My game plan was to try to get a couple by the exit at 2 and then be able to put myself in the fastest line. So I think, I'm not sure when I got to 3rd on the inside. I think it was the last lap, but then they let me get a shot coming to the white to get Jeff, but unfortunately not enough time, and Jeff had a really good car, so it was tough to get a run on him.
Yeah, Jeff did have a really good car there, and I pushed him and followed behind him there for a lot of laps there early in the race, even after the caution or even after the stage flag came out there in the second part of the race there a bit too. So yeah, Jeff did real good. We're going to move up to him here in just a second, but before we do, Chad, any last thoughts here before we close out with you?
No, I just want to thank everybody. It's pretty good racing for the most part. I think there were a couple of wrecks early in stage 1, so I want to thank everybody for having a pretty clean race for the most part. I want to congratulate Jeff on his win. Wish I had one more lap to try to get a little bit of a run on him, but he had a good car and was probably the car that deserved to win based on where things were before that late caution. And then I just want to thank my team at Frontline Esports. Thank Abruzzi and Razor who sponsor us, and then Edge Setup Shop who helps with the setups from time to time, and then I also thank everybody at Don Wheaton GM. And I want to thank Rapid Fire Pizza and Evan and you for putting on the league and doing interviews.
Well, Chad, congratulations, and we'll see you out on the track next week.
Yep, thank you, Mike.
All right, we're moving into victory lane, into the winner's circle, and the winner of the race tonight in our first ever National Series trip here to the new Atlanta is Jeffrey Meyer. Jeffrey, how does it feel to get the win tonight?
Feels really good.
Yeah, I want to ask you. So early in the race, I pushed you for a lot of laps, and there was a couple times in the turn you were getting a little tight and drifting high there. As the run went on, were you having problems getting a bit tight there with your set?
No, it was just I was just taking a little bit wider line into the corners. I was. I just screwed up entrance that time when you got underneath me. I just drove it in too hard and didn't turn in time, and that pretty much you make a mistake and you're going to slip underneath me.
Yeah, I was telling Robert in our Discord chat there that when you went up, I was like, man, Jeff went up pretty high. I was like, I almost had no choice but to go underneath him because, I had the line pushing me behind me too, and you went up pretty high that time. I was pretty content just riding behind you. You had a fast car, and I thought I did too, and we were working pretty good together. I would have, I was in it for the long haul. It's a 120-lap race. The only lap that mattered was the last one. I mean, if you hadn't went high, I would have been happy, riding behind you for the next 50 laps or 60 laps. But, man, you had a good car tonight. And there during that, when that green flag pit stops rolled around, how did you fare during that? And did you come out good there and in the lead after the green flag pit stops?
Yeah, that worked out really good. It's like I ran beside you for a few laps, drifted back a little bit, came back up front. It was fun running. Just couldn't get any help on the outside, so I just kind of ducked in and found a spot when I wanted to pit, and I kind of wanted to be the first one to pit, so, and I think I was close to it anyway, up front anyway, and went in, pitted. It was kind of good for me to drop back and just ride too a little bit because I didn't need as much fuel. You know, with me leading, I was burning up a lot more fuel, so it helped me dropping in and saved me some fuel, so I didn't need as much at the end either.
Yeah, I was checking, and I think I had a couple laps less than everybody else where I led so many laps there in that second half of the race. So you're right. Yeah, being back behind a little bit has some advantages, being back a few cars into the draft. You know, as that caution flag came out, were you solidly in the lead at that point, broken away from everybody, or did the caution flag worry you a bit when it came out?
I had just passed the leader a lap before and he pitted, and so I would have cycled through as the leader. If he would have stayed out one more lap, he probably would have, well, he would have I still would have passed him, so it wouldn't have made much difference.
All right. Well, man, I tell you what, as we look forward to next week and coming out of this week, you know, and closing out Atlanta here in the this national series, what do you think of the new track? Did you like the old Atlanta better, or do you like this new track configuration more?
Oh, I definitely like the old track better. This was good. I mean, it's just, you know, I guess I can't say it's hard to pass because I fell back on the outside and I worked my way up to the front beside you again by myself. So can't say it's hard to pass. It's just, you know, it's got that restrictor plate feel where, you know, riding behind somebody for a lot of laps is the thing to do. You know, you got to have teammates, and that usually would propel you to the front if everybody's running this single file line.
Well, Jeff, congratulations on the win. Any final thoughts here as we close out the race broadcast tonight?
No, it's just good racing with everybody. You know, I was waiting to see if Chad had anything for me. I saw him coming through there at the end, but I knew I had a good car, so I really haven't had anybody, you know, test me too much. So it was a good night. It was fun. It was good racing with everybody.
Anybody you want to thank or shout out here after your win tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank Nitro Racing. I got to thank me for building the sets. I'm building sets over at Nitro Racing in the B car, and if you want to get the set, you can buy the same thing I was just driving. We're looking for a few drivers to come over and run some officials every week and kind of sponsor our I want to find some guys to run my set and sponsor us each week. So if you're interested, check us out at nitro.com and get a hold of me. And I got to thank Rapid Fire Pizza, Evan. Those guys all do a good job running the league. Old School Ninjas. And the Goon Squad. Thanks for putting us in.
Well, Jeff, congratulations on your win tonight. And folks, we appreciate you tuning in each and every week to the Rapid Fire Pizza National Series League here. And, you know, guys, keep coming back. These are exciting races. We had a nice, long green flag run there with some green flag pit stops and a lot of great racing there in the second half of the race. Your winner tonight is Jeffrey Meyer, and we will be moving on to next. next week for the broadcast. I'd like to thank the Goon Squad for the broadcast here, broadcasting our league. Also like to thank our sponsors, and they are Rapid Fired Pizza for sponsoring this National Series League, along with Old School Ninjas sponsoring the league as well. We're just glad that each and every one of you have come back each and every week and tune into these races. And for myself, Mike Howerton, and the rest of us here at the Rapid Fired Pizza National Series League, thank you for tuning in.
Hold on.
We will see you in the next one.